This is Mary Jane of Alaska Stories.
And this is Mike. In this edition, we're looking at Wheels of Fortune, the Gold Rush bicycle story, the role of bicycles in the Alaska Gold Rush era. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's use a bicycle to get to the Klondike gold fields. In 1896, the whole world was crazy for bicycles, and from 1896 to 1899, the Klondike Gold Rush was in full swing. Some stampeders looked to bicycles, or a wheel, as bicycles were also called, to carry the supplies needed to enter Canada and head to the gold fields.
Pedaling Through Peril, the 200-pound challenge. In the late 1800s, bicycles were not light, and some tires were made of solid rubber. However, stampeders with bikes were an inventive lot, and by adding frames to their bikes, they could carry loads as heavy as 200 pounds.
Biking over those wilderness trails. No, there were no bike paths on the trails, but two early cyclists from the Brooklyn, New York Bicycle Club rode their wheels from Dawson City in the late 1800s and discussed creating a bike path to the Klondike. Well, that idea never became a reality. In the meantime, those using bikes on the trail rode along in the tracks left by dog and horse-drawn sleds. Plus, bicycles were faster on the trail and you didn't have to feed a bicycle.
A Tale of Two Passes. No bicycle could navigate the steep Chilkoot Trail to get to the Klondike, but it was somewhat possible on the White Pass, and a few were reported to have completed that trip.
Mr. W. J. Terry was the first known bicyclist to make it from Skagway to Dawson in March of 1899. According to Terry, it took him 8 days. During Terry's adventure, he patched a flat tire by pouring water into the hole. Then, when it froze, he was able to ride again. Can you imagine that?
Gold Rush Rides. The hazards of biking to the gold fields. Riding a bicycle during the gold rush in Alaska came with challenges, including flat tires, frozen bearings, and exhaustion. Edward Jessen wrote about bicycling on a trail at a temperature of 48 degrees below zero.
The rubber tires on my wheel were frozen hard, as stiff as a gas pipe. The oil in the bearing was frozen, and I could scarcely ride it. My nose was freezing, and I had to hold the handlebars with both hands, not being able to ride yet with one hand and rub my nose with the other.
Pedal to the gold fields. During the Alaska Gold Rush, Seattle newspapers reported an increase in bicycle sales as stampeders headed to Dawson. In 1900, the Argus reported as follows.
Local dealers report that the success of cyclists on the trail in the Alaska Gold Rush has caused this branch of their trade to change from a mere experiment to a steady, growing demand. Scarcely a steamship sails from the north that does not carry bicycles. Too many wheels. By around 1903, Dawson had so many bicycles around town that they were considered a nuisance. Can you imagine how hard it must have been for the stampeders who used bicycles to get to and from the gold fields? Until next time, Mike and Mary Jane, Alaska Stories.